establish them into the most important asset for the community. We've made a step in 2019 from conservation to sustainable development, let's say officially speaking, but because we did that before as well. So we've established a park that is 15 times bigger than the national one, called UNESCO Aspiring Oltenia de Submunte National Park, and we are trying to get the UNESCO statute by bringing all together other 15 national protected areas through geodiversity, biodiversity, and cultural diversity. And in the end, we would like actually for the 41 villages throughout this area with 30,000 inhabitants to be proud not only about what they have with the cultural UNESCO elements, but also to have the beneficiaries of prosperity brought by the national park in the area. So our vision is to turn the area into an example of sustainable development based on the wise use of the national and local heritage. Our initiatives, we are trying to triple the number of visitors, actually achieve visitors in the national park. We want to double private and public investments, but in a smart way so that they can go towards sustainability priorities. And we want to also maintain the favorable conservation status, both for purposes of maintaining cultural and natural. We want to obtain the status of UNESCO Geopark and to manage this together with our partners. We are involved through 4 pillars, namely the bioregion development. It all started from what I said before, namely that the state is not doing enough to show people that protected areas mean benefit, not restrictions. And currently, we have a program for local grants by which we are supporting sustainable businesses which are aligned with our strategy and our goals. And the people in the community are trying to actually manage to see increasingly more that parks and nature bring so many benefits. And currently, we have 150 local partners together with us in this project, trying to turn the people's mindset into not looking at parks as restrictions, but to people seeing them as a true treasure bringing long-term benefits. And when local communities are going to be able to invest themselves into the conservation of nature, we won't require any laws, the state, nor authority, because we will have the true custodians of protected natural areas. We are trying to educate and research. We have the Junior Ranger program for over 15 years now. We are happy to see that it's also become a national program financed by the Environmental Fund. We've also trained rangers who are supporting our activities or came back and are currently teaching the young ones to protect the community. We have young ambassadors programs. We have geo clubs. The promotion activity is currently at a very high level. I really encourage you to search for Discover Oltenia, a 15 minutes video that presents our area and our project. And with respect to management, we highly rely on partnerships. The 150 partners I mentioned, of which some are strategic, national, others are international, and so many local ones are directly involved in the management of this territory. And together we want to find the best way to develop them through a strategy that we are working on together. Our Aspiring Geopark is part of the national network of geoparks in Romania. We currently have 2 UNESCO geoparks, Hațeg and Ținutul Buzăului. We have 2 aspiring one, Oltenia de Submunte and Carpatera in Brașov County, and other 2 projects that are just beginning in Maramureș and Dobrogea. All these mean an entire network that envisages expansion with other territories as well to bring added value through the operation of the local heritage. To show you what it means to work together as a network, the local natural network, is part of the global geopark network, which currently comprises 224 territories in 50 countries. At the same time, we are part of a European network, which has a very ambitious goal, namely to mobilize 1 million changemakers to restore, protect, and regenerate 1 million hectares of Europe's land and sea. By 2030, through activating the local stakeholders and by using innovative ideas from various countries to apply them in other regions as well. And I got to Bucharest Natural Park now in 2016, when the park was set up after a campaign of 5 years, which mobilized an entire community. And we managed to create, in the middle of Bucharest, the first protected natural area, urban natural protected area, the first urban natural park in Romania, an area amounting 183 hectares on a former communist project that was abandoned, where nature has regained territory. Birds are back now. We have 140 bird species, which means a lot, thinking that this area is 2 kilometers away from the center of Bucharest, where a significant part of the Romanian people are living in. But this is a true embassy of protected areas, exactly as other protected areas from other cities can become a similar concept. And what makes us happy is that this idea, nature at your doorstep, has basically generated an entire national movement. So many organizations asked us how we managed to do it, because they wanted to replicate the same model in their city. And this is how a project was born, financed from Norwegian funds, a project based on urban nature, one that comprises 15 organizations of the 10 large cities of Romania, which envisaged the establishment of 23 urban areas. They also proposed a law that has been waiting for years now in the parliament, and we are still trying to transform urban nature into a network that can protect nature, provide ecosystemic services for the most crowded places of Romania, because these are the most requested and well sought places. These are the figures of the network. We address basically half of the Romanian population, and the target is by 2030, the urban network to comprise at least one for every Romanian capital city from all the counties. And the two networks, the geopark and the urban natural areas, namely our pilot project, are part of the national program called Rural and Urban Communities Together for Conservation and Sustainable Development, by which we are trying, on the one hand, to show people in the rural area where they have huge values without actually perceiving them as being so. So we want to show them that true value. We want to teach them that they can use in a sustainable way nature without destroying it, and to make sure that they have long-term well-being. And we also want to open the eyes of people living in the urban areas, because they are more focused on the conservation of nature and the necessary resources to do so, to show them that they can become involved. And if those from the urban can manage to appreciate what we have in the rural area, and the other way around, as being the people that can bring value around protected areas, then we will manage to bring these communities to favor conservation of nature. And this concept is quite easy. Basically, we are trying to explain to people the true value of nature, regardless of where nature is, be it in the Carpathians or in the middle of the city. It has the same value. So if we call them geoparks, nature reserves, or natural parks, these are just human conventions. Forests, wolves or bears do not care about our borders nor about our laws, and people want to see actual results without involving communities to join us in this effort for nature conservation. I think we basically know what authorities can do and have done so far. and what other institutions of the state that we are a part of can do in terms of nature conservation.
Our targets are that up to 2030 to turn Oltenia de Submonte to a pilot area where we can show that prosperity and welfare can be obtained in nature conservation. We want to develop 2 geoparks and the urban nature network. We would like to develop a national research program from which we can hope to get results for the applied research to be applied in the protected areas. That's our story, the story of my association. This is what we are trying to offer Romania, and not only Romania. With these small initiatives, we have started a local level, but we managed to connect them into a coherent program at national level, supported by strategic stakeholders and partners. Together, we have managed to transform from an organization that had been working for 20 years exclusively based on volunteering into a professional organization with more than 20 employees and managing a project of more than 5 million euro. Thank you. Thank you, Florin Stoican. You added value to our Congress. It's so important for us to find out these kind of things. Taking a look in the room, and I told you that I got the stories, I see people of different ages. I'll be part of one of the workshops in the afternoon, but this is not quite a piece of news. The team leader of the workshop I'm part of is one of the children I used to work in junior rangers camps. This means that years passed by, a lot of years passed by, and I'm really happy because of that. Let's move further. There might be differences from what you've seen in the agenda. I would like to invite now to speak about nature, the person people know as the forest man. He has been working for more than 30 years in this field, in forestry and protected natural areas management. Before joining the team, he's part of nowadays as a ranger, because he used to be a ranger. He has been working in the forestry administration and then in protected areas field. He has been a conservation manager from 2010, and he has been working with forestry funds in order to develop ecotourism, to integrate ecotourism in local development. He's highly appreciated for what he does, for his commitment and responsibility. And I quote from what he used to say: "It is important for us to understand that forests mean more than wood, and to be able to acknowledge the value of the other functions it provides us with. We are all beneficiaries of these functions." The experience I've mentioned beforehand also means the collaboration with Rom Silva, where he has been working in forestry starting with 2001, and then he started working in the protected areas management. For a short while, he has worked in the National Directorate for Biodiversity in the Ministry of the Environment, and nowadays he is the conservation manager of Conservation Carpathia Foundation, and he is Mihai Iancu Zota. Please, Mihai, you have the floor.
is an ecosystem of life. Their value extends far beyond timber or economic profits. They provide ecological, climatic, cultural, and scientific benefits that are crucial for planetary and human well-being. Old-growth forests and primary forests, despite of what sometimes the traditional foresters are saying, cannot simply be replaced. Once lost, their unique ecological complexity and biodiversity take centuries to recover, if they recover at all. And I will not offend someone, but I was impressed about this word, said about this Canadian French astrophysicist who passed away in 2023. Man is the most unfair species. We worship an invisible God and destroys the visible nature. Unaware that this nature is destroying is the God is worshipping. So the story of the old-growth forest, at least in Romania and also in Făgăraș Mountain, is a little bit a sad story if we will not succeed to make some steps to save the still existing Christian and old-growth forest that we have. There are a lot of concepts, a lot of meanings for natural forest, primary forest, old-growth forest, Christian forest, and so on. I just tried to synthesize one of the ways. Natural forests that have formed through natural regeneration, they have developed freely for a long period of time without human intervention. Primary forests, probably the most valuable and the most rare, forests that have been never or rarely impacted by human for a long period. Terms: ancient, intact, natural, primal, Christian, the Romanian term, relict, untouched, and virgin. Old-growth forests, forest stands that are in the late successional stage or have reached a certain age that may or may not have been impacted by humans. Terms: climax, late soil, quasi-Christian, the Romanian term, late successional, and over-natural. A few years ago, there was an official communique of the Romanian authorities to the European Commission saying that probably we don't have old-growth forests in Romania because in our forest plans, the oldest forest registered are no more than 200 years old. And if we talk about beech, fir, spruce, probably they live more than 500 years old. So, in conclusion, we have the average age of this old forest that we have is less than half of the lifespan of the forest, so they are not old-growth forests. Of course, that was a little bit of bullshit. High conservation value forest is another criteria, but it's very modern, and also it's good that it's used in many managed forests. For example, the forests which are FCC certified, there is this concept: a certain part of the forest, the high conservation forest, should be protected. There was a study in 2021, Caterina Montano, Sam Sabatini, and Professor Nuzzo. In 2021, they identified that in Romania, probably there are still 700,000 of old-growth forests. Talking about the forest in Făgăraș Mountain, when I say Făgăraș Mountain, we are talking about the Natura 2000 site, which have almost 200,000 hectares. And along these 200,000 hectares, we have inside 140,000 hectares of official forest cover, so forest which is included in forest plans, but the total forested area is almost 160,000 hectares because they are including beyond forest, also forested pastures and alpine shrublands. This is a work from that study from 2021, and the green areas were identified as possible still old-growth forest in Făgăraș Mountain. Level of the whole So a big effort was from the state forest administration because, of course, it's easier to declare a proper Christian forest which is owned by the state. So almost everyone, even the NGOs who try to study the Christian forest, they avoided the conflicts with the private landowners. And so still a lot of valuable forests will be lost because they are in the private property. And the process of declaring those forests with the approval of the landowners and with proper compensation for the landowners, it's a very difficult process. So if I have a forest and I want to declare it as a Christian forest, voluntary, I need almost 3 years after a scientific study, after I have to remake the forest plan with my own money, maybe after 3 years, I will be qualified to get compensation from the state. So that's one of the reasons that the private owners, they don't want to give them their forest freely for being declared as Christian forest. This is the distribution of the priestly and quasi-Christian forest among the forest formation. So the most of the forests which are already protected are, of course, in the high elevation levels because we have to admit there were no roads to access them 100 years ago. And there is a lack of Christian forest declared in the mixed forest and, of course, in the beach forest zone. There are still almost 7,000 hectares of forests that they still would qualify as Christian forests, but they are not protected. And you will see further that the reason for disappearance of the Christian forest is still high. And we are talking now not about the illegal logging, we are talking about legal logging. So since 2020, already 1,800 hectares of old-growth forest, Christian and quasi-Christian forests, were disqualified because of the logging. And this is said as a figure. We did analyze the official data from the SUMAR program. It's a kind of online program who's summarizing, and it's a kind of accountant of how many trees, how many cubic meters are logged in the whole Romania. It's an online system. This is a good system. And we did identify that in old forest, older than 130 years old, from 2020 till now, over 300,000 of old trees were already logged legally. We are talking about the legal part. So this is, for us, it's kind of sad. And overall, talking about volumes in the whole Făgăraș Mountain, not only in old forest, also in young forest, in spruce narrow orchards, in whatever, between 2019 and 2025, almost 1,500,000 cubic meters were logged. And the dots, yellow red dots that you see on the map, are talking about the official logging places which were installed in the Natura 2000 site Făgăraș Mountain in these 5 and something years. So we are talking about more than 4,500 logging places in this Natura 2000 site. If you ask me if someone has analyzed the cumulative impact of the logging, the answer is no. These things will change because every forester you ask, he will say every logging place has an impact. But nowadays in Romania, the logging activities are not listed among the activities which have a potential negative impact. Of course, between the remainings of the old forest, we have some young forest, we have some young forest with wood stems, we have mixed forest, and also we have some trees. Which were planted mainly in the communist times, because it was considered that we, the were replaced with spruce monocultures in the Făgăraș Mountain. And also, we still have the remains, more than 4,000 hectares of clear cuts from 15 to 20 years ago, and some of them, they were illegal logging. As Christoph said, we bought a lot of spruce monocultures and a lot of clear cuts, and we started restoration. So we did restore more than 1,600 hectares of former clear cuts. We did plant every year more than 100 hectares, and some images from those activities. And talking about spruce monoculture, we discovered, studying some old state forest maps from 1950, you can see on the right side, the green, as darker is the green, that means more spruce. So you can see in 1950, on one of the valleys, there was not so much spruce. In 1996, after the communist times, you can see that it's much more green in the area, so everything what it's now more green, that means that there were spruce monocultures introduced. And also we do intervention in spruce monocultures. We do some precautious intervention. We do not do clear cuts. We are trying to take out some spruces, and in 70% of the case, the wood is remaining as dead wood, debarred, because that's the law. And we are also planting and canopying the missing species. And this is a long process. Probably restoration process in spruce monoculture will take more than 30 years for the next generation of rangers that Carpathia will have. What we can do, what we can hope, is to demonstrate the existence of still unprotected old-growth forest under the EU criteria, because the restoration law says that the old-growth forest should be protected. The problem is we have to demonstrate to the authorities that we still have this old-growth forest and they are compliant with all the European criteria. We have to try to initiate viable PES mechanism, so payments for ecosystem services. You already know this concept is very important, because otherwise the governments will not have money to pay compensations or incentives for private owners. And also, as Christoph said, we have to demonstrate the added value of a national park for the local communities' sustainable development. Thank you.
Sunteți obosiți? Nu, ok. O să fie mici
We are going to have slight changes from the initial schedule, which I would like to let you know, because some things help us, others do not. So in a couple of seconds, we are going to have a debriefing session, because we all have our speakers with us. If you have questions, this would be the right time to ask the questions. And then I'm going to tell you what's going to come up next. The flag ceremony will be postponed for tomorrow, because we all want it to be something nice. But the fog outside doesn't seem to help us in any way. So since tomorrow, they said the weather should be nicer, probably it would be best to move the entire event for tomorrow. Another important announcement, we kept thinking about how to use as much as possible all the minutes that we have at hand. So before lunch, do not forget about the headsets, exactly as I said in the coffee breaks. I'm going to kindly ask you to leave the headsets on the chairs, not to take them outside. We won't have to hand them over and then to get them back. So let's try and work faster to enjoy our lunch. And since we were talking about lunch will start at 1. We managed to set it a bit ahead of the schedule with a kind request to come back at 2 p.m. because the time that we went for lunch will be used later also for our breaks before the workshop or after the workshop to make us enjoy a longer evening. So it is up to us to be efficient. Do we have anybody against to what I suggested? Okay, so that's great. Before the debriefing, I'm going to kindly ask you each and every time after every segment, because we have all these segments before lunch, after lunch. Thursday, it's going to be the same. I'm going to kindly ask you. I wanted to thank each and every time to those that actually ensure the fluidity of this event. And here I'm talking about the communication team from Conservation Carpathia. Thank you so much. You are doing something wonderful. You should know that from there in the room you won't see much, but sitting there I can truly see what they are doing. They have lots of work to do. I really wanted to thank all of you for, I know what you are doing. I know how tough it is. I was waiting for a round of applause as well. And of course, I saw the kite disappearing. No, we have the mini technicals guy here. Zmeu, thank you so much for what you are doing in organization to make sure that we have all the slides prepared. I just wanted to thank you. Here's our little dragon. You also can't see, but I'm looking at the ladies, and the ladies can see me indeed. But we have the two ladies that provide the translation and interpretation in real time. Thank you so much, Camelia and Annelies. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your effort. It is a tough job. So, Ombre, please use the microphone, because without the microphone, nothing can exist.
Coming in the, okay, it's not coming into the plan, what we planning. For workshops, there are 3 workshops closed with 25 people. That means 50 people. And we have another 7 and another 3 different workshops where it's 15 to 16. So, note everybody as routing the participation from the workshops. That means no bar open tonight. So we have like this. I put the list there in the left side of the building before going to the lunch. I put the workshop which are not booked, and who is not booking on the workshops, please put your name in the list on these 3 or 4 different workshops which are still open. Okay? Because I love you and I want the best for you to learn and share the best experience in this Congress. And okay, the beer is coming over workshop. The bar is closed. Everything we close with alcohol. Romanian guys not provide any alcohol after all. So this is serious problems, okay? Thank you very much. I'm sorry for break your nice feelings.
Mulțumim frumos, Ombre. Mulțumim frumos. Dar vă rog pe cei care nu v-ați înscris să o faceți, pentru că, se pare că suntem și noi implicați în congresul acesta. Și Mihai, să nu pleci departe, te rog, că avem nevoie. Și vă invit pe speaker, o să vă invit aici.
The speakers to come here in front, because it's much easier like this. Mihai seems to have run away. Mircea? Mr. Major? Is the major here? So please kindly take a seat. So let's try and create a more relaxing vibe. You're also going to get microphones. I'm sorry, I know how it works, but please take a seat. It is about time to clarify whatever you want to get clarified. And Mihai will also join us in a minute. So now would be the right time to ask the questions if you want to find out more than what they presented. Are you going to be the first? Okay. You have another microphone, right? It's coming, it's coming. Do we have questions? Or you weren't paying attention to the presentations, you were just working on your phones like the kids do in the camps, in the junior ranger camps, when they just use their phones and that's it. So let's try and see. I have some questions for each and every one of you, and I would like to start by asking Mihai to take a seat. So come on, Mihai, let people see you, although I cannot say they haven't noticed you. How can you manage to do so many things in such varied protected areas? You know that Romanian question, what actually drives you? How can you do this in such a varied way? So we were talking about Văcărești, Oltenia de Submunte, and all of these. I go where I feel I'm needed and requested. So I started from home with the national park because the people in my community wanted to do something to protect that area. Before actually working on the project for the setup of the national park 20 something years ago in the area, because there were many of the forests, most of the forests were restored to the communities. There was a hijack, and of course, we had different attempts for poaching. Constructions were also affecting the area, and we said, what should we do? Just sit around and do nothing, or just act? And then we just we came, and others came and asked us what we did and asked for our support, and we did. When I got to Bucharest, my friend Cristi Latscu, you all know him, and he said, let's have a protected area in Bucharest. And I said, are you crazy? Come on, man, are you mad? But when I went there, he showed me exactly, and I understood what a protected area means. Around 20% of the Romanian population, to be so close to them. And that's what we did. And then other organizations said, asking for advice and support from us. And that's how we got to create that network. But I believe that everything, this entire answer can be transposed into people. I was lucky enough to be surrounded by good people. And these good people urged me to work together with them in the right direction. You can't do it without people. Without people, institutions are just simple boards or plates on walls. Thank you so much. We have the same thing going around, that people are sacred to places. So I have my request. So I wanted to ask you here, because I know you come from different countries. I know how Romania works. Which of you, or who among you, because in Romania we have great cooperation with the Romanian Gendarmerie in terms of actions in and interventions in protected areas. So please raise your hand if you cooperate with such institutions in your country, such as the Gendarmerie. So with public order authorities, law enforcement, basically. Those of you that are working directly with law enforcement authorities, please raise your hand. So I can see it happening. We also have it. It's great to see that it's the same with you. So that's very important to point out. I also wanted you to tell me how you manage as institution to bring this great support. In many countries, although I do not know exactly how it works in each and every one of them, but in Romania, any project has to be written together with the Gendarmerie because they help us a lot. How did the Gendarmerie institution manage to bring this new idea of supporting natural protected areas, such as mountain rescue and other institutions working in these protected areas? How did it start? Well, the story started so many years ago. I can truly say it wasn't easy at all. So we faced plenty of difficulties. But through the joint effort and supported effort of the management from various institutions, we managed to really create a good collaboration between the institutions. And in my view, it is currently very nice, very good. Although, of course, there is always room for improvement. It is beneficial both for the safety of citizens as well as to protect protected areas. Thank you so much. Mihai, just a second. I apologize, but as you were saying, this happened, at least in terms of parks, it happened many years ago. And with my colleague Mircea Vergeles, the manager of Vergeles Park, we were involved in discussions with the Romanian Gendarmerie. And I really want to say, exactly as you were adding, the Gendarmerie management was really open into creating these work points, and we had such work points in every national park. There's also an issue that is not in any way related to the national natural park, but at some point, the issue when the forestry code was subject to amendment, there was an issue of the foresters were from Silva guarding the forest, but to be guarded by the Ministry of Internal Affairs through the Gendarmerie. So together with the parks, we decided to start this debate in the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the Gendarmerie. And I do not remember exactly the name and all the details. It was a high-ranking official that said, you, foresters, have become smart guys, right? What you are suggesting would be that you guard the forest, and for us to guard the forest and for you to sell it. And the conclusion was no, but parks, yes. I would really want to ask, because you were a speaker, so I would like to know how it is like in your country, because you are doing so much, including anti-poaching initiatives. So it is obvious that you have institutions, law enforcement authorities involved.
So in Israel, the rangers have authority as police officers regarding environmental law. So usually we don't need the police, but unfortunately, recent years, violence is rising up. So when we have kind of a special operation against the poachers, search warrant that we go to the house to catch the prey or to catch the weapons, then we call the Gendarmerie, we call the police to help us. But we have all the law is we are by the law we are obliged to do all what police officers do. We can detain, we can investigate, and we can put in charge. We have our own lawyers in our own firm to put in charge the criminals.
Okay.
So this is very, I think, very advanced of other rangers organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Așteptam întrebări din sală.
I was waiting for questions from the audience. A microphone here, please. Maybe you could raise your hand, please. I apologize, but we'll have to use the microphone so that we can have the translation. Thank you.
It's strange, but actually till 2018, the logging was listed as a activity with potential negative impact on environment. And because they justified the change, so when they took out the logging from the list of negative susceptible activities, they erased it from the list, saying that it's too bureaucratic to obtain environmental permits for logging companies. And actually, the authorities at that time, they were not able to create a more flexible and rapid mechanism to issue environmental permits. Because the foresters and the logging companies, they were saying that sometimes we got approval from the forest services to log, which is a special permit. And after that, till we got the environmental permit, the logging permit is expiring. So there were some problems, but instead of finding some solutions and also to respect, as you said, also the European provisions, they just find out that the easiest solution is to erase logging from this list. But instead, in case of the protected areas, there are some measures which are issued by the National Agency for Protected Areas for each logging place. So if I'm opening a logging place, I have to inform the Protected Areas Agency if it's in a Natura 2000 site, for example. And the Natura 2000 agency will issue, and they will send me some recommendations and measures that I should respect. The problem is, they send copy-paste these kind of measures, but nobody checks if the measures are respected, because the activity is officially not a negative impact one. So the places where still logging take place in old growth forest is because they are respecting the forest plans, and those old forests are not officially recognized as old growth forest or Christian forest. That's the problem.
Okay, thanks.
Wherever the forests are already in the catalog, they are protected. There's no logging. But the issue is to try to demonstrate that those forests that are still remaining, that are very valuable, are, according to the European criteria, old growth forests. So that's hard to prove, and we have to do that.
Okay, thanks.
Mulțumesc, l-ați stârnit pe Mihai, puțineți-vă la răspunsuri. Da, dacă din sală mai sunt întrebări, aici, te rog, mulțumesc.
Thank you. I would like to ask the three of you, so it's Ilan, Mihai, the Congress team building a bridge between local communities and nature conservation. What would you say is the most urgent need, the most urgent need to support rangers? And what are the most urgent skills rangers for this role?
Ce vrei?
Ok, da, când am
When we first talked about organizing this Congress, we have reached the conclusion that building the bridge between natures and local community,
we call indigenous rangers. So in Romania, we call them local rangers, people who are from the local community employed as rangers, and they are first two in front of this blessed team. And what is important from our rangers in Romania, but not only in Romania, it's still we need education for these rangers. We still need to train them, and we need to support them. So what we try to do in this conference, and we try to explain it, was a little bit hard with the ministry and other representative or authority with the officials. But we try to give this message. So rangers, also in Romania, also in Europe, need this training, need this qualification, need support, because usually the rangers are just sent it in the field, and sometimes they didn't know, they have that feeling they do the good jobs, they are inspired by themselves, and sometimes they go because they know I should do like that, but they are not trained totally in this direction. So they need to be trained how they act, how they need to use the skills and the capacity to develop these bridges, to build these bridges and make it be harder, stronger, because communities start to understand what's in the ranger. Communities start to understand what the rangers makes in that area, because are local people, most of them. So they know each other, and they start to develop the mix and develop the links between community and the park administration. Sometimes the park administrator, director, or the chief ranger send the rangers in the field just because you are from local. You know better than what is must be done in that area. So this is the first impulse for the leaderships. They send the rangers, we are from the local area. So this is the place where we try to improve, and we try to rise up the knowledge and to share the experience from the local rangers and from this type of skills and put it on the place. So,
Thank you. Yeah, we try.
I do it
to
short.
stay in time, yeah.
I do it short, and I will talk with you honestly. When I'm 34 years ranger. When I started to be a ranger, exactly what Florin said. I just was dropped to the sea and swim. No instructions, a little instructions. And I was very tough. And I didn't build bridges, I destroyed them between the law enforcement and the community. And it took me a few years to understand that law enforcement is important, but education is more important. And so I'm telling you that law enforcement, yes, but without education, without junior ranger project, without all those things, law enforcement is not enough. Law enforcement can destroy bridges. So if you go to education, you build bridges, law enforcement support to protect the nature, then I think this is the right way.
Okay, thank you. Mihai, if you want to
Yeah,
put something more in.
among all the things, or outside all the things that you already know, it's from better salary, better equipment, more useful application, technical means like drones, cars, whatever, skills, training. But we need to have rangers and young rangers that they just coming because they feel they want to protect the nature. And they dedicate something from themselves for protecting the nature. Because, of course, we all have colleagues, very good colleagues, we have dedicated people, but I saw in the very young people generation that fewer and fewer are ones who, for example, accept to sleep in the night in the small shelter somewhere in the mountain, or walk in the night, or early in the morning to be at 5 o'clock in the forest, and at 3 or 4 o'clock when his girlfriend is calling, he's just leaving everything and is going home. So you have to feel it in order to do this job properly. And some of our colleagues, for example, are facing the problem with the bears. Yeah? And even in the middle of the night, maybe 2 times or 3 times in the night, they got this emergency call and they have to go to protect some farmers or shepherds or to chase some bear from the middle of a village, because they are the first one who just met the angry farmers, citizens, scared people. They also got the bad words. It's your bears, you don't do anything.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
With you.
this is very frustrating, and they need a lot of patience and communication skills to go beyond this thing. But that's happened. So that's also one of the problems in the first line of the job.
Ok. Mulțumesc frumos. Mai este un microfon. Până atunci aș vrea să...
Thank you. We
adaug-
have one more mic, but I want to add something to what they were saying. Today, those of you who registered for the workshop prepared by ProPark Foundation, the one that deals with the professional training of the rangers and the employees in the natural protected areas in Romania. So those of you who registered for this workshop are going to find out a lot of things about how rangers can become more professional in their jobs.
It's my first time. I was quite astounded to learn so much about Romania and about the huge projects you're undertaking right now for future endeavorment. But now I have a question for the Romanian Ranger Association itself. How do you have to change to adapt to those future changes, doubling and tripling the tourist numbers, an increasement in human conflict within nature? Jesus, sorry, my voice.
So I should talk about this. I will be short. So Romanian Ranger Association, it's a NGO. All the members and all the people who work in our association, they are park ranger from national park and natural park and different protected and projects. What we try and what we realized to do in the last 10 years is these trainings we provide with the ProPark, with other NGOs who develop the programs for rangers, because in Romania we don't have institutional school rangers. So it's just a new job. Then even 20 years ago was show up in Romania. This need was just put on the list of the jobs. So for this reason, the Romania Ranger Association tried to not replace it, just take the place of the needs. And we try with different, like I said, to train in the program. And ranger job qualification, now it's together with the ProPark Foundation and together with the other NGO, we will make a new assessment of the job description. We change the place where it's now in the job description in Romania and the core, this is the name of the things, and put it in the right place. So as an NGO represent rangers, we try to rise up the qualification, the quality, and all the standard for the rangers. So it's just what we can do in this moment. We know where we are and we try to do the best in the place where we are now. And this what we do now. It's also with this Congress to show to the officials, we are here, we do this, we are present, we get up from the forest. Hello, we are here. So this is our goal, and for the future, we see where we get and where we go forward next step. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just the last thing. This issue, as I heard well, we are at the beginning of the problems with many visitors, because we don't have millions of visitors in the parks like you have in some of the parks. But you know, it's a kind of Romanian word. You aim something, but you get something completely different back. Yeah? So the forest code was changed in December last year, and the civil society, together with environmental NGOs, so everybody fought for free access in the forest, mainly from some other reasons, to see where illegal logging taking place, to monitor better from silva or logging or hunting or whatever. So it was a good idea. But in fact, now, due to the forest code, the access for the people is free almost everywhere and at any moment. And of course, for nature conservation and also for fauna, this will bring a big problem, because when we put something on Facebook, look, we have 5 bisons in that place, how beautiful they are. Maybe next weekend, 1,000 people will go there with cars, ATVs or bicycle or whatever, or just walking to see the bisons, and the bison will just leave the area maybe forever.
Mulțumesc frumos. Nu o să mai luăm întrebări. Promit ca după
Questions,
prânz
but I promise you that there will be other speakers after lunch. Please remember your question, write it down, and I'll remember to ask you to ask the questions. Maria, thank you so much for what you did. Please stay, it's not over yet. Thank you for your presence, for your presentations, for your answers. Maria wanted to make an announcement, and after that, bear in mind that you've all wrote to her every day. Please give her a round of applause.
We know that among the rangers there are some volunteers, not Romanian volunteers, but from Europe side. Yeah, you were communicating with Borja. So please, we need now 9 volunteers to document the workshops. If you want to do it, and it would be really great, because we want to document it very well every our workshop, to include it later in the Congress report. So of course you can go only to one workshop, but later you can follow the results, the discussion, the ideas. So it's really important for all of us. So please, who wants to volunteer for this, approach me and Mikhail. We're sitting here in this corner. We will wait for you, and we will give you 5 minutes, not longer, instruction how to do it, what we are expecting. This is first announcement, and the second one is regarding the workshop leaders. Because yesterday we arranged all the workshop rooms. One workshop about poisoning cases led by Borja Diaz will be here. Other 8 workshops will be in the restaurant building, in different spaces. I know that not all workshop leaders know about the rooms of your workshop, so please find again me and Mikhail in the restaurant before the lunch. So we will spend here 5 minutes with the volunteers, then we go to the restaurant building, we meet with you, 2nd floor. When you enter, you go right side to the 2nd floor, and again to the right side. We will wait you there with the old workshop equipment. We will explain you where your rooms are. You can take what you need for your workshops, and then you can go to lunch and take your time to prepare everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Încă o dată, vă rog foarte mult să nu uitați să vă lăsați căștile și la ora 14 ne vedem în sală ca să cumpărăm timp. Mulțumesc frumos!